Hey guys, I'm Louis, Technical Director here at FuelTech USA, and welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit the FT injector. High flow injectors made to fuel your engine, no matter what kind of fuel you want to run. E85, gas, race gas, alcohol, nitromethane, it does not matter. And today I'm here to show you guys a brand new release, the 320. This injector was actually made to be possible as a straight replacement for widely known and popular injectors that flow around 225, 230 pounds an hour. This injector is rated 320 pounds an hour at 90 psi of fuel pressure, base fuel pressure. But the way that the injector was developed, it actually works really well on a wide range of fuel pressure, from 30 psi to over 130 psi. And this little guy here at 43 psi equal 3 bar of fuel pressure, pretty popular base fuel pressure. It flows 230 pounds an hour. So this is a straight replacement to older style different injectors that used to run 225, 230 pounds an hour. They're hard to get, they're not as reliable, they are older. This is a brand new design that actually have some of the same stuff present on the 520 and the 720, the other two big brothers of the 320. This injector was made with a strong coil. The coil is the magnet part that is driven by the pick and hold to try to move the plunger inside. And that plunger, it's held on its place by a strong spring. Just like your valve train, think about your intake valve and your exhaust valve. As you go up on high performance, you pull like a better camshaft or try to rev up a little bit higher, you have a stronger spring, correct? We did the same thing with this injector. So this injector carries a stronger spring, and to correlate to that stronger spring, we have a stronger magnet. The whole coil itself, it is stronger, and using an external pick and hold driver, 8 amps of peak and 2 amps of hold, the plunger works steady, stable, and starts working on a lower millisecond number and gains flow really quick. It doesn't take a long time to start gaining flow. And not just that, allows you to run on a higher duty cycle before it gets stuck open. So you guys may heard like, don't try to run the injector above 80% duty cycle or so. This injector is actually capable of achieving over 90% duty cycle before it start getting to the zone where it actually goes to full flow, like 100%, not being 100%. So think about that. It's a faster injector, quicker injector, reliable injector, and actually when we manufacture this injector, we make sure they are about the same to spec. Every injector, when it's manufactured, it is compared to the standard injector, and based on that, the injector has to be equal on every single form. We talk about magnetic flux on the coil. We talk about internal dimensions. We talk about spring rate. Every single injector is tested and compared piece by piece. So when you guys grab a set, they're really close within each other. And if you later down the track, you need to buy more injectors, you need to buy another set, they will be as close as the first set that you bought. Besides we having the 3 versions, 720, 520 and 320, we also carry different tips. So on this really nice blower hat style fuel distribution block, we can see O-ring on the top and AN lines on the output of the injector, so you can run your lines through your blower hat. That makes it easier to install on a blower. But if you want to try to do the straight to a pipe or to a runner, and it's a hard place to put the injector on a better angle for you, you can have this. It's a 45 tip. We have a tip on the injector that can direct the flow towards a 45-degree angle. Not just that, O or B connection, so you can have an O-ring threaded going to your runner, going to a pipe or something else that you want to go to, and the regular injector tip where you have O-ring sealing up and making sure that you don't have any kind of air leaks, boost leaks, or something like that. So those injectors, the way they were made with those strong springs and strong coils, they actually behave really well at a wider fuel pressure range, and you can go from 30 psi to all the way past 130 psi. And every single injector carries manuals. Just like we do with every single product of FuelTech, we have our manual that go over how can you keep and maintain your injector, dimensions, how can you set up on the ECU, what kind of fuel flow you can do, the battery voltage offset, fuel flow charts, dead time charts, how it behaves on different fuel pressures, how it behaves on different battery voltages, what kind of fuel flow you have from those 30 psi all the way up to 130 psi. And honestly, we're giving some slack on how the injector actually behaves. And we just did something cool over here, and we actually ran a tractor, huge engine, 600 plus cubic inches at over 10 bar base fuel pressure. That equals to over 145 base fuel pressure. Check out some cool footage of that thing using 12 of our injectors to manipulate a 3-turbo compound system on a huge inline 6. Well, I bet you guys got excited by looking at that huge flames and popping and banging. Like, this is cool. I think it's one of the very first EF5 tractor pullers on that kind of big power stuff, and we're excited about this project. Well, not just that, as you guys seen on this one, different applications. You guys can check it out. This thing can run on a roots blower, on a screw blower. Let's see some footage about some really cool NHRA top-notch pro mod racing with some EF5 blown cars going down the track. From 320 pounds an hour, 520, all the way up to 720, you guys can run a Pro Charger, twin turbo. You can run naturally aspirated, nitrous engines. I personally drive a radial versus the world vehicle, and we're running actually the 320 on gasoline, running C25 and lots of nitrous. We're using the 320 injector. This injector at 320, if you guys go down to about 45, 43, it goes to 230. So you can use this injector on your 632 engine, your big block Chevy 582, something like that, with 2 kits using gasoline. But at the same time, if you have a badass street car, you're running E85, you know, you're running some pump gas sometimes, E85, and you may run alcohol, you know, to do like a 10-mile deal or something. This may be a really good option for you, so you don't have to run a lot of injectors, 16 injectors, on a build that may only need 8. If you guys have any questions about our injectors, feel free to hit us up on our technical support or drop below your commentary. We're gonna be happy to answer as soon as we can. And if you have any FuelTech injector cars to share, feel free to shoot away.